Have joined the Heal the World show. I am not Permelia Parham, who is here every Friday. She is here just next to me, right? And we're excited to see the chat. Right? Oh, I don't know if you can show the chat, Permelia. This is a little different because Permelia usually is sitting where I'm sitting and she's interviewing one of the amazing healers um, from the Healing Institute. And so we talked about it and we thought, well, no one really knows. Hey, Marie Piplovic is here. I'm so glad you are. So, while I can't feature these, and that's okay, I can do both, and we'll look for questions. So today, what we're going to do is really find out about this amazing woman sitting to, well, let's see, as you're facing the screen, it would be my left, but it would be your right. If I got it right. Look, Maria's going, yay, yay, yay. So I thought, well, Permelia has opened more than a half dozen business throughout her life. She's a very savvy business person, but the Healing Institute is something special that will leave a legacy. And she is supporting a group of international healers. And the way I understand it, it's so that we can heal the self, heal each other, and heal the world. And they are really a mastermind of healers. And the way I understand it, for those of you who are listening, if you come to them with a series of experiences that you want to get to the bottom of, they will often bring in an associate that works similarly to come up with the best solution. Is that right, Permelia? Am I saying it okay?
Well, we work as a community. First of all, I want to say hi to Radavi Riom. She's
Oh
here
yeah,
from
hi,
Carolina.
Radavi.
And Ingrid McKnight from Canada, Alberta, Canada. So thank you for joining today.
Yes.
So you're correct in saying that we're like a mastermind, because we are. So we look at the whole person, at the whole client.
Sure.
And we're a community of practitioners with the Healing Institute. And so if someone came to me because they wanted to work with me on body code work, but I thought, oh, wow, they really, really could utilize Marie's conscious breathing techniques,
right,
or Radavi's transformational therapy that she does, then we would get together as a group and put together a plan for the client. So it's great for the client because it's one-stop shopping.
Well, and that's where I was heading, is like you don't gather all the practitioners for every client, but you have access to the people that synergize with your work. So anyway, the Heal the World show is Permelia's latest and greatest adventure. And I thought it was time for people to really get to know this phenomenal woman. Right? I've known her for over a year now, and it is absolutely amazing. Thank you, Radavi. We get that. That's nothing we can control. Radavi is letting us know that Permelia is pixelated. Yep, this is what happens with technology. So she may come in and out as far as clarity. So the first thing that I'd like to ask you is, since you've done a lot of businesses, right, over your lifetime, and your business savvy, a lot of different industries, which really has allowed you to launch the Healing Institute. And as I've watched you, I'm absolutely blown away at how the idea to heal the world, for everyone to heal themselves, to heal everybody, to get well, because we know we can. And how do we do it without a huge investment? Well, we want a group of healers that know each other well enough to do that very thing. So let me start by first asking you why you started the Healing Institute. There must have been something that happened in your life, because this is one huge gift to the world. So tell us how this idea came to you, please.
All right. Well, thank you for that question, Leslie.
Mhm.
It it was a process. It was a journey, like we're all on. I was working with my modality, which is body code, and I was having great success with clients, which we're going to talk about a couple of those a little bit later.
Mhm.
And then I was in my little office here in my city on Vancouver Island, and then in 2020, everything got shut down. So I hadn't been on Zoom. I maybe Skyped with my children because they don't live in the same province with as I do, but I'd never heard of Zoom. And then all of a sudden, I was like, okay, well, very didn't have to close my business because I could now do these sessions over the phone or over Zoom, because energy is energy, as we know, and it goes
Mhm.
everywhere. It is everywhere. So it was the same process that I was using as my in-person clients. And then I started to have this idea that I needed to do something a bit than just looking at specifically what I was doing for my clients. So I've always been very curious. One of the things I always got in trouble with when I was a child, asking too many questions. And there was a few things that happened at the same time that people were not going out. There was a lot of online things happening. So I started to meet people all over the world. And yes, we could actually have a virtual global hub of holistic practitioners to teach people about how they can heal themselves and give them opportunities. And that was
Well,
one of the
I love that, and I want to interrupt you. Thank you for letting me.
okay.
I'm thinking more about your why, and I'm thinking about a story you told me a long time ago about your mom.
Mhm.
And so that I see that as possibly the originating institute. Tell us the story about why you wanted to give back based on what happened with your mom. Would you please?
Absolutely. Um, I just want to say the reason that I called it an institute is because I'm
Mm.
passionate about education. So if anybody's wondering why it's called an institute, that's why. Oh, and I want to say hello to Keith Robinson. Um,
We didn't go through a time
no.
warp. Amelia's in the middle of one. You can tell by the visual. I'm okay, but she's in a time warp. I don't
Anyway,
think so, Keith.
Keith's checking in all the way from Ireland. So, well, lovely to have you here. So yes, this is a story I do tell at the beginning of every one of the interviews when I'm interviewing practitioners. And it was a tragedy that happened when my mom was 61. She passed, and it was right before Christmas. It was the 15th of December. I was 5 months pregnant with my son, my first child. So it was really devastating. It just happened really quickly. She wasn't feeling well. She went into the hospital. They determined that one of her kidneys had failed, and within another week she was gone. Very fast. And then my dad and I were like in shock, and my sister obviously. And so we were like, we need to know why this happened. So we did okay an autopsy so we could get to the root of it. And at 61, she had the insides were like an 80. So plaque had built up. There were so many things that that wasn't healthy from the outside, but from the inside she wasn't healthy at all. So when her organs and her glands really needed to be there for her, they weren't. And so it was due to complications of a medication that she had taken for a very long time. And so I was like, really, we
61 is young.
young, very young. So
Yeah.
we really need, then that was an impression on me. And then when I started to design the Institute, I was like, yes, we need people to know. We need people to know about the side effects of these medications that they're taking. We
Yeah.
need we people to be aware, and know that their bodies can actually heal themselves. We're not taught that. That's not information we grow up. We're just taught if you have something wrong with you, you go to the doctor will fix you or give you something that'll help. And now, thank goodness, with the newer science that is coming out about how we can heal ourselves and how our bodies react to so many things. There's just a new information that's come out, might not be that new, but I just found out about it, where there's a correlation between our gut health and our brain health. We've never thought about our gut health other than to be healthy, physically healthier. We've never thought about it helping our brain health. When you think about all of the Alzheimer's and dementia that's happening, it's another pandemic of that's happening.
In a
And it's a direct
way,
relation to what we're eating. So we need to think about that.
so then I would surmise that your mother never met her grandchildren.
No, and that's the tragedy. Not only pass away at age, my children never got to meet their grandmother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how did that figure in to your whole move toward healing the world?
Well, I think it started right at the time that happened. Now, I started having children and got to be very busy, but it was still there. It was in my mind as to how I wanted to make a difference, and how I wanted to help people make a difference and educate people into lots of healing podcasts. And I know about Dr. Joe Dispenza, who was, just for people who don't know, the short version is, he was in a triathlon. He was riding his bike. He got hit by a truck, and said he'd never walk again. And it broke nearly all the bones. And he, short version, decided that wasn't happening. He was a chiropractor at the time, and he went home, literally meditated on his sofa, and healed himself. Now, that story is so amazing. People need about that. People need to know that, yes, that's what happens, or
Awesome.
can happen. Okay.
Yes,
so
that's really good. Oh yeah. Well, I was so actually what I wanted to do was show one of the grandchildren. And
Yes.
and so tell us who this is.
So this is my son Nikolai, and he was out here visiting on the island. Well, nearly 2 years ago now. He lives in Edmonton, Alberta, and works in a hospital. So he's a very busy man. And this is my son that I was pregnant with when my mom.
It's helpful to know a little bit about you. So who's this handsome man with you?
This is my husband, Rick, and he is just such an amazing husband. He supports me like 200% in what I'm doing, and so he's kind of retired, but he looks after me.
I love it.
So
You're
he's our house husband, and he makes the meals and makes sure if I've got any in-person clients, the house is clean. So
I love it. I love it. Okay, who's this in the front? Is that you?
That's me. That's me this summer. I'm not really a water person, but my son-in-law, who's behind me, and my daughter, they had this kayak. It was more than a kayak. It was like a small boat. And so they got me with the life jacket, I think, and got me in the boat. We paddled around this little bay.
That's your son-in-law, you said?
Yes, his name is Zach.
Where is News Bay?
The News Bay is just another little bay that's close to Vancouver. Well, it's on Vancouver Island. So I live in Parksville, which is another bay. So there's all these little indents and bays along the island. And we were out paddling.
I love it.
Yeah. My daughter was actually swimming in that part of the ocean because she's training for a triathlon that's coming up on Sunday.
Excellent. And I'll bring this back up again, but since you're You're effectively the host. All right. So now you know a little bit about Permelia. You know why she does what she does. It's a big leadership role for her, and she, for anyone actually, and a big want and a big ask. And the practitioners are amazing. If you've been watching every week, or you can go to Vermilia's profile page and mark in replay and watch any one of those to meet these amazing people.
I just want to say a quick hello to Bo
Yeah.
Jurasivic.
Hi,
She
Bo.
actually is here on the island. She lives in Victoria, which is about a 2-hour drive from where I am.
Awesome.
And she's saying, yay, she loves Joe Dispenza. She's doing a walk for the World Meditation, September 23. Right on.
Fantastic. All right. Let's get down to brass tacks here, my friend. Now,
Okay.
everybody has one or two, or sometimes three modalities. So healers tend to be certified and experienced in more than one modality, which
Yes.
for me, for other people that are looking for help, it could be that you have two practitioners, but they can pick from different modalities. So the one that I want to hear about, that I know the least about, is the body code. So if you could give us an idea, a little bit of like what I might come to you with, tell us what is body code? What are you looking for? What do you find? And then tell us about a client where this worked really well for them. So please
Perfect.
share.
Thank you. So the body code was created by Dr. Bradley Nelson, and it is looking at the subconscious. So I know, Leslie, you work in your mastermind. You're always talking with your clients about the subconscious and how the subconscious works.
Yeah.
So the subconscious knows everything, and it holds everything, all of our memories, all of our emotions. Dr. Bradley Nelson, who was a chiropractor, these chiropractors are brilliant men and women. And so he came up with a chart of 60 trapped emotions that we can use this chart as we are determining what trapped emotion is stuck with our client, what it is. So the body code is looking at everything that's going on in the body. And so it's looking at all the nervous system, the digestive system, and the process is very simple, but it's very powerful. It works so well. So there's three parts to it. You connect with the client with their permission to their subconscious. Then you ask their subconscious, depending on what the client wants to work on. If they want to work on something physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, whatever their issue that they want to work on, basically the subconscious is leading us, and we're doing it as a team, the client, me, and the subconscious is leading us where we need to go in the body to find out what this trapped emotion is all, and which trapped emotions need to be released.
So you're asking the subconscious to illuminate you and to point to where this is trapped. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
That's correct. Yes. And determine where exactly it is in the body and which emotions need to be released. We muscle test. Well, again, we've used muscle testing over the years. I just use my fingers now. People might know the sway test or the strong arm test. For many years when I was studying with my teacher, I used a pendulum. It all works the same because it's all working on energy. So our muscles are really true to who we are, just like our just is. And then to release the trapped emotion, we use a magnet. You can use any kind of magnet, and you run it over the governing meridian, which is our strongest meridian in our body. And what I love about this is the magnetic quality of the magnet and the electromagnetic field, which is where our governing meridian is stronger than the trapped emotion. So that's what releases the trapped emotion.
So give us an example of somebody who came to you and you did the process and what how it transformed them, and also let us know how long it takes maybe, and do you have to do it over and over again? Can you do it yourself? So that's a lot of questions.
Yes to everything. So Dr. Bradley Nelson has a number of books out. He teaches you in his books how to do it on yourself. Just to give him a few more kudos. Anybody military that may have PTSD. He gives his books away for because it really works well with PTSD. So that's all the questions I can think to answer at the moment. You can ask me the
Well,
other
the
questions.
example of somebody
Yeah.
that you've had that this worked especially effectively, so that
Okay.
we get a feel of if we were coming to you, what we might imagine in advance.
Okay. So a friend of mine, she's given me permission to talk about her son. A friend of mine had told me that when her son was born, he nearly died. There was all sorts of complications. And so, we go for walks and we were talking. She's a neighbor and we were chatting and she's like, I don't know what I'm going to do. He's acting up at school. He's 10. He was 10. He's acting up at school. The teachers are sending home notes when I go to get them from school. He had a younger sister always. And she said, but he's not always like that. He's a very loving little boy for the most part. But I don't know what this acting out is happening when it's happening. I said, well, from the story that you told me about his birth, I think he has some trapped emotions. And I'm very willing to definitely do a session with him and see what it is that we can release. So she's like, yes, absolutely. So he came in person because they're neighbors, so they just corner. I have a little chart of what an iceberg looks like. And so that's what I usually use as an analogy of our conscious brain is what's above the water and our subconscious is what's below the water. And so I showed him that. I talked to him about, did he understand the subconscious? And something was all good. So we were releasing these trapped emotions. So the things that were coming up were terror, panic, bitterness, anger, like really, I mean, the trapped emotions on the chart are all negative, just letting you know, but these are really strong ones. They were really strong. Terror
From this birth,
from the
perhaps.
birth.
Oh
Yes.
my gosh. Yeah.
Which of course he consciously didn't remember, but
How did you ask a 10-year-old subconscious?
I just asked
mind?
the 10-year-old subconscious, okay, are we on the chart? Is it terror? Yes, I got a yes. Okay, we released that.
Got it. Okay.
Did I get do I get horror? Yes. Okay. Well, so I'm asking his subconscious. He understood all of it. He's very, very bright little boy. Okay, so I talked to him after. How do you feel? Much lighter. He said that happens a lot. I feel his mother was sitting in the chair beside him. She was like tingling like crazy. So then about a day or two later, I was talking to her and I said, "Oh, how is he? How is he doing?" She goes, "Well, first of all, the principal met me in the parking lot and said, 'What have you done with him?' Because he's on the playground at all." Then she went to collect him in the school, and the teacher walked up to her with a book. Now, this is something we didn't even know. I didn't even know about. So she said, "This is a chapter book. We always have reading afternoon." He's never sat still long enough to read. He not only picked this book, he went to the library, he picked this book, he brought it back to the class, and he sat and he read it during the reading period. Now, we hadn't even that. I didn't know that was an issue. So that's helpful, and I just love this modality. It just works.
Did you have to? Okay, so let me ask you now about that. This was a great share. I totally get it. Did you have to do another session, or did that take care of it? I mean, I don't know if you need more sessions and if you require that, but how's he doing now?
He's very, very well. We've done another session yet, although his mother says, I think I need to bring him for a touch-up.
Touch-up session.
Because now he's 12, right? So now he's getting into kind of puberty and other issues.
Wow, that's amazing. Marie is asking, or is it so her question is, so you don't need to know what is behind the emotion, just the emotion that raises its hand to say it's me.
get
clear
rid of.
me.
Yeah. And so to
Okay.
answer your
Wow.
question about how many sessions, everybody is different.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I use the analogy of an onion. I say sometimes we have to get rid of those top layers of emotions before we can get to the layers that really need healing. And that was my own personal experience when I first, not when with the body code and the emotion code, but when I was studying with my energy teacher 20 years ago, this emotion of insecurity kept coming up. And I was like, okay, I'm done with this. I thought that I'd worked on it. And she said, well, now you're working on it at a deeper level. So you're actually working at the level that needs healing. So that's what I
Oh,
tell my clients. One session is great. I have 3 and a package of 5. And I always suggest that you start at least with a package of 3. The
uh-huh.
sessions last anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour, usually. And
Fantastic.
with the process. So it can go very, very fast and very quick. And one of the things I was always taught from my energy teachers, be very careful about how your energy body and your physical body, how they're either in sync or not in sync. So when you're releasing an average of 12 to 14, 15 trapped emotions, which are compared to balls of negative energy out of somebody's subconscious, you're also releasing them out of their body. So there is an
Oh,
imbalance. And so I always talk to people
oh,
about, okay, there's going to be a little bit of a shift for you to get your energy body and your physical body back into
wow.
sync. So be aware that there could be a couple of days where you're feeling a little bit discombobulated, because it's just that's what's happening.
So I really just have to acknowledge you here for your ability to articulate what what I could expect and to really kind of have a 30,000-foot view of what's possible and who knew, right? I mean, Radha V says in the chat she was breach. She thinks she needs a session with you because I didn't even know, right? And Marie is saying that she had a session, um, and so did the cats. Wow,
The
have a
cats are
session.
much better. Well, her one cat who
Okay.
who was new to the family and was really trying to exert his dependence. So
Well, that was just a supreme example. Any practitioner that listens to this is paying attention, or replay. This is how, this is actually how you share an experience with a client, exactly how you did it, Permelia. I'm going to go back and listen to it again because it was gorgeous. Now, we're getting close to the end of the hour, so I want to let you know that Permelia has a special offer. So if you turn on the ticker,
I will
you
do
can
that.
go and have a conversation. You may have to turn off the chat, but I don't know for sure.
Yeah,
But if you
I had
turn
to
on
turn
your
off the
ticker,
chat.
there it is. So she has a complimentary consultation. Now, how long is that? Half hour, 20
It's about
minutes?
30 minutes. Yeah,
Okay, perfect.
just
So if you,
to determine that this is the right fit for the person.
yeah,
It has to be a right fit. It has to. I'll give you a cute little story. So when I first started doing emotion code is the first level before you do the body code, um, and then I'll just put in my connection here too.
yes, and you
Um,
want this link. This is where you go to book a complimentary
yeah,
session. And by the way, let me just tell you, people, if this is right for you and you're going, oh, I think I'd like that, do it right away. Do not wait and allow things to get in your way. You'll know if if this is right for you, or it's certainly worth investing some time. Go ahead, tell the story.
I'm now very cautious about clients and making sure that it's a really good fit for them. Because when I first started this work, I was in a women's networking group, and I had a number of wives of women come up and tell me that their husbands really needed this, and they booked the appointments for their husbands.
I
Um,
love it.
Not quite, because we're only there because the wives sent them, not because they were really invested. So I don't want to waste anybody's time because So now I do this elementary information session so that we're all on the same page and people really understand that what the process is, just kind of like I've explained earlier, and that they feel that it's a good fit for them. Yeah.
So let me share this screen again so I can show. You have to give me an okay, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah, bring that on if
Right.
you know. Can you make it come in? There we go. Well, I wanted everybody to see this is the Healing Institute's website. Notice how clean and peaceful. I just love your logo. I mean, it's just wonderful. So go to the Healing Institute, but notice the dashes, right? So no problem there. So as we close up today, Permelia, I want to share with everybody what we learned in this quick half hour. We know what kind of person Permelia is. We know she's fun loving and has a supportive family. I love that. We know she has a dedication because she lost her mother right before her mother got to experience grandchildren. And I do know what this means because my parents died at 60 and 61. And, there's so much more available now. So I really honor and appreciate that. You learned about a body code session that reveals some things that I didn't know about. And the whole purpose is to heal yourself and to heal the world. So I encourage you to share this video, book a complimentary appointment with her, spend 20 minutes, have your ducks in a row, tell her what you think you know already, and have a conversation or a dialogue. You don't have to move forward, but you certainly could find out if there's a possibility, right? And so, last word to you, Permelia, how would you like to leave everybody? What intention would you send out to them? Anything like that as we end our live today?
Oh, thank you, Leslie. Thank you so much for interviewing me. So my intention is to heal the world. Really, my intention is for people to be healthy. So when you're healthy, you don't have pain, you don't have any emotional issues that are going on. You really engage with the world. You really help make the world better. And so that's what my intention is for people. I also want to just let everybody know that the Healing Institute, we are now at 10, I believe 11 practitioners, and we're 4 countries. So we are spreading throughout the world. And my vision is to be in 12 plus countries and have over 200 practitioners. So please and find out about
Yeah.
our practitioners and how
And,
wonderful.
and if you're a practitioner yourself watching this and you're not part of this, should they reach out to you?
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. We're looking
So
for
she's actually managing the growth, right? Because it's her at this point. So like any business, it's growing slowly. And just really excited to be here with you. What a gift you are, Permelia. And
Thank you.
everybody who is on this, you are welcome. It's a real honor to spend this time with you and to learn about body code, and also to learn that you're kind of fun loving and you're willing, even though you're not a water person, you're willing to get in a boat with your son in law. Now, that is really trusting and faith, isn't it?
Yeah, you know how much I trust him now.
I was going to say. So now you know about the founder of the Healing Institute. And with that, we will close out the live. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Permelia. See you
And
next
we will be
Friday.
going back into the chat and we'll be commenting on your comments and answering any questions that you have. So we just want to let
That's
you know
right.
that because
Awesome.
we
All
greatly
right.
appreciate everyone who came. Thank you.
Absolutely.